tell a little
I
bit
lived
about
in
that.
Tennessee, and there was kids talking about each other, fighting going on. Yeah, and
What do you think about the issues about
oh,
bullying?
the issues. I don't. That shouldn't be going on in schools. Kids should tell the teachers if they're being bullied.
What concerns you guys when you see bullying happening? Would you feel comfortable? I know a lot of issues come up that kids are too scared to either tell parents or tell the kids to stop it when they're witnessing bullying, and it's a big problem all across the country. How would you guys handle it if you witnessed it?
I feel like they shouldn't be afraid to speak up. If there's an adult nearby or someone that you trust, I think that you should be able to tell them, because it doesn't seem like it's a lot of ways to stop it unless you do, go speak up to an adult. Try to get help about it. Just don't keep quiet and to yourself about it.
There was I watched a show a few years ago on the Oprah show. Kids committed suicide because they didn't tell the teachers and they were just depressed. And a kid should always tell the teachers or an adult, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree with what both of them are saying. I think they should always tell an adult, so the adult might be able to handle it better than the kid can. I think the kids are scared that they're gonna get bullied if they tell someone, or they're just gonna get talked about and they're afraid to speak up.
What about, your education as far as, getting good grades, doing the right thing? What is peer pressure like at school? Because a lot of times, I remember back in the day, when you were the smart one,
Oh, yeah.
you got picked on because you were the smart
That's
one.
still happening today. You hear the girl that got bullied on the bus a couple years ago.
Absolutely.
I think it was in Grosse Pointe or Sterling Heights, and she was actually not just bullied, she was beaten.
Yeah, she was beaten, yeah.
Because she was a straight A student and a girl couldn't handle it.
And so you have a lot of young people now who feel like, well, I want to be with the in crowd, so I'm really smart, but I don't want people to think I'm smart, so I'll just be kind of dumb, and maybe I'll get a C or a D on this test when I really could get an A. What is peer pressure like in school for you guys now?
I mean, it sort of is like what you just said. I feel like students shouldn't be afraid to go out and get those good grades and, be the best that you can be. This is your future you're talking about. You have to stay focused. You shouldn't worry about what other people do think. I mean, it's your grades. This is your life. You need to be on top of it.
Yeah, I agree with her. It's your life. Who cares what people think? You should always try your best.
Yeah, I agree with both of them, because when they mess up and when they act stupid in school, they're not hurting the school board. They're not hurting anyone but themselves. And if they don't do good in the school right now, they won't do good in the future, and they won't have anything to fall back on.
But going back to Lloyd's question, do you see that happening? Do you see some kids who try not to act too smart or try not to do well because they try so desperately to fit in and they don't want to be teased?
Yeah, I see that a lot, especially in high school. It's a lot of popularity issues going on, and, the more popular kids, they might think, well, I don't want to study, I don't want to do this, I just want to go hang out, I'm not about to miss this party to go home and study for that test tomorrow, everyone's going to be there, I really don't care. That's a lot of the mentalities going on.
How would you guys improve schools today? Just, your own experience, what would you like to see change or happen differently, or advice? If you got to talk to the school board, what would you like to tell them?
I would improve the teachers the most, because people just want to hire anybody now. I think they should go above and beyond the teachers who they pick. Teachers should care about the students, and they should go above and beyond their job too.
I would probably tighten up on the security. There's a lot of weapons and drugs and all kind of violence going on in the schools all over America, and I think that it should stop quickly. I think that we should put an end to it.
Yeah, I agree with the both of them. I feel like we should have quality teachers in the classroom, because they do just hire anyone nowadays, and they're hiring people that seem like they don't really care about our education, and they're only caring about that next paycheck that they're going to get. And we deserve a good education, and I believe that more security should be put inside the schools. It's a lot of things going on, violence, bullying, and it needs to come to a stop.
How important is parental involvement in this as well? I mean, we can talk about the teachers, and of course we need to have good teachers, but that's at school. But at home, you need to have some reinforcement as well, and a lot of times we don't get that reinforcement. I've talked to teachers who said, listen, I have parent-teacher conference, and the parents who I need to see are not here, and the parents who I really don't need to see always show up. How important is parental involvement?
Well, that was a big thing with my school. There was always needed, the parent involvement was needed. if we didn't turn in our homework, the teachers would always call our parents every time. So that was a big thing with my school.
I think parental involvement is really important. You know, like kids come home and they don't always have that backup that they need, you know, someone to talk to, especially to help them with their schoolwork, anything. You know, parents should really be involved in their their child's lives, I mean, as far as school and everything. So I think that should happen.
I think that the parents are a big part of what goes on but it's hard to tell that if their parents are involved with their school, because they could act like a different person at school than they do at home, and you just never know what goes on in their personal life.
Can you tell when a kid doesn't have a good parent involvement at school?
You know, I can't personally, but I know some people who can. I just don't know what it feels like not to have a parent at home or not to have the backup that you need. So I can't tell when I see someone.
The three of you have good support systems. I mean, you're here, you're part of the show, you come to YouthVille, you're part of Youth Neighborhood News. You have proactive adults in your life. But can you tell when there's kids in your school that don't? Adrian or Adam, can you tell?
Yeah, sometimes it seems kind of obvious. I mean, it's not really a way to know. I mean, it might be the kid whose grades are dropping because they don't have that parent at home to help give them, you know, good study habits and help them with their homework and prepare for that test the next day. You know, it's a lot of factors that, you know, can be a part of that, so.
And some things I've seen, like if we have a school project to work on, they won't go get the supplies. They make an excuse why they can't get it.
Do you guys feel compelled to help other kids who don't have the same? I mean, you guys are all fortunate. You have support systems. You know, I've had the pleasure of working with Zach's dad. I mean, he's a hands-on dad. He's like you, Lloyd.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen you with your kids. They're awesome.
Hands-on?
Yeah. He's joking,
No,
everybody.
I'm joking.
He's joking. But do you guys feel compelled when you see other kids who don't have the fortunate, you know, to be fortunate to have great parents or great guardians in their lives to help these kids?
Yeah, I mean, I do. A part of that, you know, maybe since I'm older now, I can help mentor a child or tutor them. If they don't always have that parent at home to help them, you know, I can step in and try to help them with whatever they might need as far as school.
Adrian just celebrated her 18th birthday, and what was the first thing that she did, Lloyd?
What's that?
She registered to vote.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to take a break, and when we continue, we'll come back with Ron Stewart with Pathway and Visions Fund's GED Testing Center from Detroit. We'll be right back here on Youth Neighborhood News, keeping it 100, when we continue our conversation about school days.
Shout it out if you want to see the man. What up? They know about me from college or Japan. What up? You know the flow probably worth $100 grand. Okay. You want to talk? Put the money in my hands. Yeah. See, I'm the man. What up? Understand? What up? You want to talk? Put the
Welcome back to Youth Neighborhood News, Keeping It 100. Our guest host today is Lloyd Jackson from WJR. Right now, we are pleased to have Ron Stewart from Pathway and Visions GED Testing Center join us. Tell us about the center.
Well, Pathway Visions GED Testing Center is a place where undereducated adults can complete their education through general educational development, or GED.
And Ron, you know what, why is it so important that testing centers like that are available for people in the region?
Right now, as you are probably aware, I think we're all probably aware that the economic situation in the city right now is very poor, in fact, the entire state. And so when one job comes available or is offered, you have about 100 people applying for that one job. A lot of these employers find it very easy, instead of going through every single application or resume, to cut them all out who do not meet educational requirements. And so for most people, they don't have the diploma or certificates in order to apply for a job, or they're exiled right away because of it. That becomes very important that we have educational centers, especially GED programs, considering the fact that the dropout rate, according to the Census Bureau's last report, has now reached about 50%.
Is there a stigma to a person who gets a GED? Because I was watching a TV program, as a matter of fact, I was watching Judge Mathis, as a matter of fact, one of our own here, and he had a young guy on there, and he asked him, have you graduated high school? He says, no, I haven't. He says, what you going to do? He says, well, I'm going to go back and do another year. Now, this guy was 20 years old. He said, I'm going to go back and do another year. He says, you're 20 years old, why don't you get a GED? Well, I don't want to get a GED. He says, well, do you think you can't do well if you get a GED? He says, I got a GED. I'm a judge. I got a GED. So is there some type of stigma to that?